Hi, in this video we're going to talk about how to do a free background check in the state of Alabama. To get started, visit alabamapublicrecords.org. I'll have a link in the description. You can click on that or just type it into your browser. On the homepage you will notice quite a few public record databases available in the state of Alabama, and they can be used for all kinds of background checking. In the second part of the video, I'm going to talk about how to gain access to criminal information, which is typically the most sought after record when it comes to background checks. So let's start with the public databases. Now this video is going to be about background checks that anybody in the public can do in everyday life situations. So this is like a very practical video. And we're going to focus on specifically finding free databases that you can utilize. So let's create a scenario. Let's say, for example, you want to do a remodeling job in your house, and you wanted to hire a contractor. You're going to put up a lot of money, and so what can you do? You can look up a contractor. For instance, you have a contractor's license database, and then let's say business records. So you can come down here, you can search by name or license number. You can make sure that there actually is an official business registered to a specific person. Everything is matching up. You can look up things like how long did they have the business for? Are they renewing on time? Things like that. Is it actually, have they actually renewed it? Is it an active license? Business records, same thing. You can search by name or the business name or the owner's name. And again, you want to check for things. How long have they had the business for? Are they renewing their document? Are they organized enough to remember that they need to renew? There's just quite a few little things that you can get from checking out these records. Another big one that you can do is you can do a court records check to see maybe if there is if there are financial lawsuits with regards to the company or maybe the individual, specifically maybe looking at things that are related to construction. Maybe they had an unhappy vendor, or maybe they had an unhappy customer that ended up taking them to court, maybe for not a very good job, or maybe just some scrupulous activities. So you want to kind of give yourself a peace of mind, maybe by doing this research. Make sure licensing the business is all legit. Make sure there's no lawsuits or anything like that. So it might help give you a peace of mind, and at the same time, it actually might make you reconsider the individual that you were looking at, based on the information that you find, and maybe you're not going to necessarily use them. So there are many ways to use this. It doesn't have to be just about a contractor. It could be for just about anybody that has a license, anybody that has a business, anybody that maybe you're hiring, maybe to even do landscaping for you, babysitting, things like that. There's many things. Maybe even a person that you're trying to date, or whatever it may be. There are many scenarios where you can utilize some of these databases. And so in terms of criminal records, I'm going to go ahead, hover over other records and select inmate search. And what you have here is you have local sheriff's department jail records. And so this is how a criminal record pretty much starts. You have maybe the police department or the sheriff's department arrests somebody and they charge them with a crime. They will typically get booked to a local jail, fingerprints, mugshot taken. They'll get officially identified, and they'll get charged with a crime. It doesn't mean that they're guilty. They still have to go to a court, but you can look at this information for free. And I'll just show you as an example here. You can look up information. You have a mugshot, some identifying information, and as you can see, some identifying information, booking information, then you have your charges. Now again, this doesn't necessarily mean that the individual is guilty. It just means that they have been arrested, and this is the beginning of a criminal record. So some sheriff's departments won't necessarily make it that easy for you. Some of these databases, some lists are just as simple as this, so it's very difficult to locate a specific individual because there's no search box here. And then in some cases, you actually have to submit for a request. And it's different from county to county, but most sheriff's departments are pretty good, and they have a decent database. You can research it by name, and you get details, charge information, personal information, mugshot, things like that. So after the arrest, they will have to go see a judge. And so if you hover over other records, we can click on court records here. And what you'll notice is you have multiple courts within the state of Alabama. So you have district and circuit courts, Supreme Court, and then you have Court of Civic Appeal and Criminal Appeal. In most cases, you won't need to research Supreme Court decisions and the Court of Appeals decisions. Very rarely do cases actually go up there. But if you wanted to, you could still double check just in case. Now, this is pretty much going to be your main focus, district and circuit courts. And they do anything from criminal records to child support. And so there is a online system here available, but it's not free. It is $9.99 per search. Now, since this video is about researching this information for free, the state actually has a couple of different options. There's the $9.99, and then if you're a high level, you have like lots of cases you need to research. There's two different databases here. So the state doesn't actually offer a statewide system or even a county system. I couldn't even find at the county system. Majority of the states out there have something like that out there. Alabama is one of those states. There's a few states like that just make it slightly more complicated, and it's not free. So your free option to research a court record would be to use public court terminals. And so these are literally these terminals at the courthouse, at the Court of Clerks facility, that you can come in, sit down, and research court records. So that's your option if you want to actually drive down to the courthouse or call the Court of Clerks office and figure out where they keep these terminals, and you can come down and research this information. So once the individual goes through the court system, they'll be found either guilty or not guilty. And if they are guilty, they might pay a fine. They might have to serve some time. If it's under 12 months, they'll stay in the jail. If it's over 12 months, they'll be serving that time at a prison. And prison facilities are managed by the Alabama Department of Corrections, and they have a database that you can use. I can quickly show you what that looks like. And let's see, there's typically a mugshot here, not in this case. So you have some identifying information, incarceration details. For instance, this is looks like 8 months total term, and then you have your sentences here. Let's do another search here. Okay, let's instead of a jail, let's do a correctional facility, which would be prison. All right, so this individual here, you have identifying information. You have incarceration details, so they are looks like total term is 68 years, time served. You have looks like a couple of different sentences here, and yeah, so it's quite detailed information. You got a mugshot. As you can see, I didn't have to pay any money to use this database. I didn't even have to register for anything. One more thing to consider is also researching the sex offender registry, particularly if you're doing like a criminal related type of a background check. And here you can also do a statewide search, and it's also free of charge. So with that said, you have, like I mentioned, lots of public record databases. We also have specific pages for the most sought after records here. You can also utilize the name search box on top. Now, this is not a free search, but it's a great tool you might consider using. So it looks at public records, court records, real estate information, criminal arrest information, financial records, things like bankruptcies, potential financial lawsuits. It has private database information like cell phone records, cell phone numbers. I mean, it has previous addresses, things like that. So, and it doesn't just pull records from the state of Alabama. It goes outside the state as well. So kind of multiple states, multiple types of databases. Some of these databases you might not even necessarily be considering. It's a pretty complete system in terms of how much information they have. It's very vast, and the awesome part is it's a single search system, so it's practically instantaneous. You're able to utilize, you're able to see not necessarily what's going on in Alabama, but like in other states as well. So, for example, if the person has some criminal history in Colorado or Louisiana, and they're living in Alabama, if you're just researching in the state of Alabama at the county level or the state level, you're not necessarily going to see what happened in Colorado or Louisiana. So like more national databases give you an opportunity to kind of see potential previous addresses, things like that regarding an individual. So with that said, visit alabamapublicrecords.org and get started on your free background check in the state of Alabama. Thank you.